this is for Algebra 1, and we're talking about linear functions. In order to be a linear function, the function has no exponents. Okay, if you see x squared, x to the third, anything like that, it is not linear. And a linear function, when you're looking at the equation, has no variable in the denominator. So if you were to look at a fraction and the bottom number of that fraction is a letter, it is not linear. Okay, so the best thing is to be able to look at an equation, use these two rules, and tell. If you're not sure, you can't remember the rules or whatever, you could always put your equation into y equal and look at your graph. And to be a linear function, it's got to be a straight line. But using these two rules, let's look at number 1. Is it a linear function? Y is equal to x minus 3. There are no exponents. There is no fraction. So yes, this is linear. Number 2, y equal 3x plus 1/2. There are no exponents. There is a fraction, but when you look at the bottom, it's just a number. It's not a letter. So yes, it's linear. Number 3, y is equal to 3 over x. We have a fraction. If you look in the bottom, it is a letter. It is a variable. So this one is no. It is not linear. Y equal x squared. We have an exponent. So no, it is not linear. And y is equal 3 to the x. I have an exponent. So no, it is not linear. So if it has an exponent or it has a letter in the bottom of a fraction, it is not going to be linear. When you're given a graph and you're told to find an equation, the first thing you want to do is find 2 good points. Okay, good points means where the lines are crossing each other. I don't want decimals. You're going to put those points in stat. Now, if you know it's linear, you can do stat calc 4, but if you're not sure, I recommend doing stat calc 5. Remember that A is talking about x squared, B is talking about x, and C is talking about your constant. If any of these is a 0, it doesn't have that letter. For example, if you had 0, 1, 3, that would be y is equal to 1x plus 3. If you had 1, 0, 2, that would be y is equal to x squared plus 2. Wherever the 0 is, that's the letter you're not going to have. So looking at number 6, we have a point of 8, 1. And we have a point of, I believe that's 1, 8. So we'll go to our calculator and we'll go to stat edit. I'm going to go up and clear these out. And then your x values are going to be 1 and 8. And then your y values are 8 and 1. Go back to stat, go to calc, go to 5 if you're not sure, enter. And it doesn't like something. So let's go back to stat, edit. 1, 8, 8, 1. Let's clear this out, stat, calc, 5, enter. There's something wrong with my stat. I think it has a blank line maybe. Stat calc 5. Still doesn't like it. So let's try stat calc 4. Let's clear that out and go stat calc 4. And it works. And we have a is a -1, b is a 9. Now when you do stat calc 4, a is x and b is your constant. So this is y equal -x plus 9. Y is equal to -x plus 9. So stat calc 5 is not always going to work. Okay, here we have a point 0, 5, and we have a point, I would say 5, 20. So we go to stat, edit, and we have 0 and 5 for my x values, and 5 and 20 for my y values. Stat, calc, 5, enter. Still doesn't like it, so let's clear that. And let's go stat calc 4, because we know it's linear because we're looking at that line. A is a 3, B is a 5. It's going into y equal ax plus b, so y is equal to 3x plus 5. If you're given a sequence of numbers and told to find the equation, Your X values are the order in the sequence. The Y values are the numbers that are written, and you're going to use stat. So on this one we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values that are in our sequence, and so when I go to stat, edit, my X values are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And my Y values are 2, 6, 10, 14, and 18. So I'm going to go stat, calc, 5, and see what happens. It works. A is 0, so it is still linear. It's going to be 4x minus 2. Y is equal to 4x minus 2 is my answer. Remember that independent is in the problem. It is your X. Dependent is your Y. It's what you are finding. And it's going to be either words or letters. So looking at number 9, what is the independent variable? It's in the problem. H is the one that's mixed in, so H. If they give you a table and they want you to write a linear equation, it's stat. Now they told me it's linear, so I can do stat calc 4 if I want. I'm going to go to Y equal. I'm going to go, not Y equal, I'm going to go to stat. I've got 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 for my X values. I've got 12, 15, 18, 21, and 24 for my Y values. Stat calc 4, because they told me it was linear, is Y equal 3x minus 3. This takes you to your assignment. Do the best that you can. Even if it's a multiple choice question, you must show me some kind of work. If you're doing it at stat in the calculator, you need to write down that you went stat. Do not just circle a letter and move on. You will not get full credit for doing that. You've got to write something on your paper. Do the best you can and come see me if you have questions.